What's up, you guys? We're back with another video on Backstage with Madaí, and this actually is a story time of something that happened backstage. Now, as you know, we got our CAVA, and let's get right into this video. But you know I gotta take my bite, so hold on. Okay, we got our infamous bowl. I need to start telling y'all what's in here. I'll tell you what I know. I have the spicy honey chicken. I have the brown rice, and then those little black beans, or I think they're beans. I don't know what they are, but they're so good. They're like little greens. I don't know. Then we have corn, cucumbers, and broccoli, and the garlic sauce. They didn't have my green favorite sauce, but I also really love this one too, so we're okay. Also, I mixed lemonade with their cucumber drink. Really good. Here we go, taking our first bite. Eat up. So good. I low-key want to warm up my food. Y'all always know the ride to getting the food and coming back, it's not long, but it cools down really fast. So let me go warm up my food so I can really enjoy this.
Osmotic date.
Yeah.
Vinaigrette. Very simple bit. It's just not ain't much, but just
Like drip it on my thing?
yeah.
Okay.
It's so it's sweet.
Guys, I'm putting everybody onto CAVA.
Girl.
That's it. Okay, guys, now my food is warm. Here we go. It's something about it that just makes me wanna dance. I can't sleep. It's so good. Let's get into the story time. Now, this story took place in 2010. So when I tell this story, it's gonna be with my adult commentary because I don't really know what I was saying or fully thinking as a child. Okay, so this story is insane. It's so crazy. So as I don't know if you all know, but I was in The Lion King on Broadway, and I was in the national tour company. We traveled all around the country. We moved every 3 weeks. And this particular time we were in Costa Mesa, which is in California. So one thing I want to say is that when you're a child actor on Broadway, the child labor laws doesn't permit you to perform every day. So that's why they cast 2 of the same role for the children. So there's 2 Nalas and 2 Simbas. So while one is on stage, the other one is backstage just in case of anything. And this time, something became anything. And I had to run up on stage. But let me rewind and tell you how this went down. So boom. My fellow castmate, Jamariana Tribble, period, was the goddaughter of Brandy and Ray J. And they were in attendance to her performance since we were in California. So they were in the audience and they came to see my girl. Now, somewhere along the lines of the show, she got sick. And this is very rare. Like, it's very rare, especially amongst the kids. Like, where our endurance is pretty strong. We don't ever really get sick. If we get sick, like real bad, because we're pretty healthy. So we're not really having these kind of things. I don't know what happened to the girl this night. Sorry, Jamariana. But she was in the middle of the show, and I guess she just came down with like feeling nauseous and throwing up and all kind of things. And I remember sitting backstage. Now, one thing about me, when I'm backstage, I'm in my own world. Like, we used to decorate our rooms. I got my posters up. We got Demi Lovato here. We got, so I'm in my own world, doing my own thing. I was probably doing some homework because that's another thing. We used to have to do homework during the show backstage every day. So I probably was just doing my own little thing. I get a knock on my door, if I remember this correctly, and they're like, Madaí, you basically they tell me you gotta go on stage. I said, huh? Now let me tell you guys something. When you are backstage, you are not dressed yet. You're just on standby just in case. The chances of it are very unlikely, so you're not really dressed. The only thing that they do have us in is our sweatsuits that they give us and the bra, and I can't remember if they gave us underwear. There was like a certain type of undergarment that they used to make us wear, so you're kind of prepped just in case, but not really. So this was my first time ever having to, fulfill my understudy role, and they rushed me to hair and makeup. Let me eat something real quick, hold on. Okay, so I was rushed to hair and makeup. Now, the crazy thing about it, you cannot predict when someone's gonna get sick or what part of the show that they get sick in. So, unfortunately, it was gonna be like right before a scene that she needed to be in, which is, I think, Rafiki's eulogy. It's the part of the show where we're crying because Mufasa just died and Nala is there. So they rushed me into hair and makeup. Now, I'm gonna show you guys a picture of what our makeup is supposed to look like. You see that? Child, they didn't even do that with me. They just put a circle around my face, line here, boom, and said you're done. Because technically, when you're doing live theater, the audience wouldn't really notice a change because we're professionals, so we know how to make things look, real quick, how it needs to look for 2 seconds. So they're not gonna notice, oh wait, what happened with her makeup? Unless you're studying hard. But they did the bare minimum. And I believe as they're doing that, they're putting clothes on me. And this was so crazy, but I'm not gonna lie, I love chaos. So I was in my head like, oh my God, this is fun. Then, somebody swooped me up like this. So I'm being carried like that across the whole freaking building. They're running with me because they have to get me on stage. I can hear the show going on, because that's another thing. When the show's actually happening, there's speakers so you can hear what part of the show we're at. I know the show is already going at the part that I need to be at. I don't know how we got there, but they ran me backstage. They cut around this corner, and I'm just like, just bouncing around. And then they throw me on stage. Now, I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but they actually threw me. Let me show you how I landed. Hold on. The same way you would get off a sling when you're like halfway in the air and you just like decide to jump off, that's how I landed. I was like this, just like that. So as soon as that happened, I just got straight into character. As soon as I landed, I was like, that was my little line that I had to say. And that scene only lasted like 30 seconds. So once that happened, I got off, and yeah, that's it. That's how I had to fulfill my understudy role. Now, that's not the end of the story, because you're probably wondering, well, what happened to the girl? Okay, so if I remember this clearly, we went backstage and she was in the dressing room, and I think they were fanning her. It was just like she really just wasn't well. Now remember, y'all, Brandy is in the audience to see her. So it was just really sad and unfortunate, and I think her mom and dad came backstage because they had to call them like, yo, this was going on, and they were just like, yeah, right, just like, but me on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I was in a circus just now. And then, for the rest of the show, that was actually, she got sick right before second act, which is the part of the show that we're not in. So it was like kind of just in time. So I didn't need to go back on stage or anything. I don't remember if I did her bow or she was strong enough to do her bow. I can't remember. But yeah, y'all, I ended up performing for Brandy. I didn't even know. And yeah, that's really it. What came out of that situation? Sarai, Brandy's daughter, was actually there too, and we became good friends. And it's crazy because I have a vlog with her that will be coming out in a couple weeks, days, I don't know. And we became friends from that night. So, it was full circle. It was still really beautiful. And that is the time that I had to fulfill my understudy roles. Yep, things that happen live in theater. Thanks for watching. Bye.